ever find yourself scrolling, right? You see all these people with successful online businesses and you think, man, I could totally do that. If only. If only I had more time or more money or, more experience. Well, today we're going to dive into a brilliant book, The Six-Figure Second Income, and we are going to show you that those if-onlys, they're just myths. So let's get into it. You know the dream I'm talking about, right? That successful side business, the one that brings in a full-time income, but you don't even have to quit your day job. I mean, it sounds incredible. But almost as soon as you think about it, that dream gets hit with this wave of self-doubt, and suddenly you've got a whole list of reasons why you just can't be the one to pull it off. So, think about it for a second. What's really stopping you? I bet you've had that moment. You're right on the edge of starting something, and then that little voice in your head kicks in, whispering all the reasons it's a terrible idea. Is it your age? Maybe your bank account? Or just your absolutely insane schedule? Let's actually dig into those doubts.
Well, the book has a name for these things. They're called false barriers. And that's exactly what they are. They're like these big mental keep out signs that stop most people dead in their tracks before they even begin. And yeah, they feel so real, but trust me, they're just myths. And today we're going to take them apart.
All right, so let's do a little myth busting. We're going to take the 3 biggest, most common, most powerful false barriers and just tear them down one by one, using some of the hard truths from this book. Okay, first up, the big one, myth number 1. This is something we all wrestle with at some point, our age. Whether you feel like you're too old and you've already missed the boat, or you're way too young to be taken seriously, it feels like a huge barrier. But here's the thing, on the internet, it's a total myth.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? Buyers online honestly don't care how old you are. They just care about what you can do for them. The internet is pretty much the ultimate meritocracy. It's not about your age. It's not about your background. It all comes down to what you can do for your customers. Can you solve their problem? That's it. That's all they really care about.
And get this for a real-world example. The author's own son started a super successful online business when he was just 14 years old. And for years, not a single person asked him his age. Why? Because he was providing a great product that actually solved a problem. So yeah, if you can help someone, your age really truly doesn't matter. All right, let's move on to the next giant myth. This is the one I hear all the time. I just don't have enough money. We get bombarded with these stories of startups raising millions and millions of dollars, right? But that is absolutely not the only way to do it. In fact, it's not even the most common way. Seriously, you don't need a fortune to get started. The book makes a great point here. With all the tools we have today, you can get a professional, full-featured website up and running for well under $100. I mean, that's less than a nice dinner out for 2. The barrier to entry has literally never been lower. And now for what is maybe the king of all excuses. Myth number 3. I don't have enough time. Look, this one feels the most real. I get it. Our calendars are jam-packed. But this whole idea is based on an old-school way of thinking about work that just doesn't apply to this kind of business. This quote right here, this is a total game changer. You've got to understand, this isn't like a second job where you have to clock in for a 4-hour shift. You are not trading your time directly for money here. What you're doing is building an asset, a system that can work for you even when you're not sitting there at the keyboard. The real trick is to always know what your very next step is. And then just take small actions consistently. Forget trying to find a whole empty weekend on your calendar. Instead, find 15 minutes on your lunch break to write an email, or 20 minutes before you go to sleep to do a little research. It's all about building that momentum one tiny, focused step at a time. Okay, so we've busted the myths. You now know that age, money, and time, they aren't the real barriers. So what's next? Well, now it's time to shift from just thinking about it to actually doing something. So let's talk about the 3 surprisingly simple steps to actually make this business official. Yep, that's it. Seriously. According to the book, these 3 simple administrative steps are what make your business real. Get a business certificate, open up a separate commercial bank account to keep your money straight, and then get a merchant account so you can actually accept payments. Boom, you've just turned your idea into a legitimate business that's ready to go. Okay, so being open for business is awesome, but you kind of need customers, right? So how do you take someone who's just looking around and turn them into someone who actually clicks that buy button? Well, the secret isn't some fancy gimmick. It's actually about answering their questions before they even think to ask them. Okay, now this is a really big deal. The book lays out 8, that's right,
8. Key questions that your marketing and your website have to, absolutely must, answer if you want to persuade somebody to buy from you.
Just put yourself in their shoes for a second. They land on your website, and right away, their brain is asking all these questions. Okay, why should I even listen to you? What am I actually going to get out of this? How is your thing any better than all the other options out there? And what's my risk here? Is this a scam? When you answer these questions up front, you're building trust and making it easy for them to say yes.
And that really brings us to the real secret of it all. This isn't about tricks or weird marketing loopholes. A real, six-figure income is built on something much simpler: honest, direct communication with your customers. It's about building trust. So, let's recap. We've completely torn down those false barriers about age, money, and time. We've laid out the first few practical steps you need to take. We've even talked about the secret to getting people to buy. So, that means there's really only one thing left standing in your way. And this is such a powerful idea. Think about it. All those false barriers we just got rid of, those are the exact same things that are keeping all your potential competition completely stuck. Just by knowing what you know now, you have a massive head start on all the people who are still paralyzed by those doubts. The false barriers are gone. They're just smoke. So the only real barrier left is inaction. You don't need the whole plan figured out. You don't need to see 10 steps ahead. You just need to know your next small step. So ask yourself, what is it? What's your next small step? Whatever it is, go take it.